Hey everybody, it's Zach, aka Zach's Reviews. We are back again with another video, and guys, I just got done with episode 4 of Peacemaker, and guys, my mind is blown. This show has surprised me, as I've said before, on how much I'm enjoying this show. I'm really enjoying it. I really thought, like when I watched, after I was done watching Suicide Squad, that I thought I had a clear understanding that I did not like the character Peacemaker, but this show, James Gunn has found a way for us to get for us to get to like him, and it's like I am loving this character. I am loving what they're doing. We get a lot of crazy holy shit moments in this episode, which is making me want more of this show. Like, episode has to be the best episode, hands down. Like, it just got me wanting more, and it got me in my feels. Because we get a lot more in this episode with, due to the last episode, in episode 3, when we see Peacemaker's father, of course, gets framed, with John switching the fingerprints out and switching the license plates out, so that way Peacemaker's father goes away and Peacemaker's free to still keep doing what they're doing with, John, Harcourt, and, and Myrn, and also, who else? And Adebayo. So we get a lot more of that, and when Peacemaker finds out, he's pissed, and Adrian, aka Vigilante, ends up taking Peacemaker to go see his father, and then right at this point, Peacemaker said, fuck you, Myrn, I'm not coming back. You guys aren't really my friends, and Adrian's like, I told you they weren't really your friends, and Adrian's still kind of pissed about his pinky toe in the last episode and everything, so. But he's like, oh, no, I'm not. He's like, you can tell he's angry. And then, Peacemaker is like, yo, I can tell you're angry. And he's like, no, I'm not angry. It's grown me. I'm happy that you let me get, insanely badly tortured and stuff like that. He's like, I can tell you're angry. By the way, you're saying, I'm good. And then you finally, it's so funny because before he stops, before, Adrian takes Peacemaker to go see his father, he takes him to Peacemaker's father's house, and to get I guess a new helmet to help what they're up against. He needs more helmets, and I love how each helmet has their own ability. I love that. The one he took from I think it was in episode 1 when he got the helmet in episode 1 from his father. That helmet's able to make him put a force field around him and able to put a shockwave out and make people explode. So I love how there's different helmets and different designs, and we get to see that. And he explains that because Adrian's like, how does your father have how is this big layer in your father's house? And he's like, oh, this is a interdimensional portal loop. I guess it's outside of time or something like that. He said some shit like that. I said, what the fuck? I'm like, what? Okay, because it's the way it does it is very outside of a dimension, and that's what it's an interdimensional portal or something like that, which is really sick that his father was able to do that. But even though his father's a fucked up piece of crap, I was okay when Adebayo hinted to Adrian to take out Peacemaker's father. I was okay with that. I was like, is she intentionally saying that to get Adrian to kill Peacemaker's father? It's funny because when Adrian's standing there and and Adebayo is trying to stop Peacemaker to go see his father, so his father doesn't know what they're up to and doesn't script their entire undercover thing that they're doing. It's because again, it's classified. She fails to do so, and she's like, Chris, I understand what your father did to you as a kid. He's a monster. He thinks us black people are second class citizens and shit like that, and saying he's a bad man. He's like, but he's still family, and he's just trying to keep saying things. He's like, he's the only family I have. He's still family. I'm going to go tell him I didn't know that John had and Myrn had that did this to him. I'm gonna let him know that I had nothing to do with it. And, she's talking to Adrian saying, oh, you must be, Vigilante. He's like, no. And she's like, you sound like Vigilante. He's like, I'm not vigilante, and he's trying to switch his voice up, and she's like, you're not making it any better. you trying to make it sound like you're not vigilante, even though you sound and you are vigilante. And he's like, why are you limping? He's like, it was a snowboard accident. I just love that character, Adrian. And you feel bad for him because it's like he doesn't really have much family. I mean, from what I can tell from what Peacemaker said is like, it might have been a joke or it might have been real because it looks like he's known Peacemaker for a while. And Peacemaker's known Vigilante for a while. He said, "Oh, your dad's pretending to be gay or some shit." I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Is that just like a joke or something, or is that like is that like?" So that was, I don't even know. But he's like, "Oh," yeah," and like, that's why he like you're like, "Oh yeah, you're like," so that way he had nothing to do with you or something like that. So it feels like, I feel bad for Vigilante because seems like he doesn't have much family or, anybody that he could call really a friend. I mean, he thinks of Peacemaker as a friend, but it's like, does Peacemaker really think of him as a friend? And I mean, I really do feel bad for that character, and I'm wondering, I want to know more about the character Vigilante, Adrian. I'm like, who is he? Like, does he have any family? It seems like he doesn't, and he's on his own. And he feels like his only true friend is Peacemaker, and I hope that Peacemaker, feels the same way. And I feel like we're getting a little bit of that, where it's like, he's like, when Adrian's like, I told you they weren't really your friends. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't more passionate about, them cutting off your pinky toe or trying to cut off your pinky toe. And so I feel like we're getting there, where he's finally realizing, Adrian is a friend. He's looking out he's looking out for Chris's best interest, which that was Peacemaker's name. I think we found that out in Suicide Squad. If not, this is the first time we're finding out that his name was Chris. So, you guys have to relay that to me because, again, I'm not quite sure if we knew his real name in Suicide Squad. I don't know. If so, let me know down in the comments below, or let me know if it was the first time we heard it in this episode or in this show. But, it's like he has his best interest at heart. That's why when, Anabayo said, oh, I just wish his father would go away, he wanted to stop the pain and stop Peacemaker from, to quit trying to get his father to like him, get his father's, blessing and stuff like that, and just get his father to stop hurting him. I mean, because again, from what we found out on the files of Peacemaker, because he goes to see, Harcourt to find out, what, like, Anabayo said, there was stuff about what my father did to me in there. Is that true? And she's like, I didn't check. I don't know. I didn't read your file. And he's like, I know, but I need to know. And when he does find out, she's like, yeah, it said that your father, made you kill at a very young age and stuff like that. And your brother disappeared, and you were an accomplice or something, or you were connected to it. And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay. And she's like, is that it? And he's like, well, yeah. Your boobs look nice in your shirt, but that's just me being respectful. I was like, damn. I was like, that's so Peacemaker, because he clearly wants to get with Harcourt. So and it seems like Harcourt is is like warming up to the fact that Peacemaker isn't a bad dude, and I feel like we're seeing that slowly. And again, my prediction is that they will get together at some point. I really thought she was going to show up in his trailer when he was smoking weed with and we ended up finding out he didn't kill the butterfly like he said he did earlier in the episode to Harcourt. She's like, like she said, why, like, so when the butterfly left the head of the person we were trying to kill, like, you just killed it, you shot it. He's like, yeah, I shot it. And she's like, you should have captured it, we could have used something to study. And he's like, well, I killed it, but he didn't kill it. He actually put it in a jar, and we see him smoking weed. He's all upset because he knows what happened to his brother. Which I thought that the older dude was his brother, but I was like, no, that's just a guy that his father, that he just killed, but it wasn't the brother, because he said he loved the brother. So, actually, the brother, I guess, got beaten up and ended up dying, because he was foaming out the mouth. It seemed like he hit his head, and maybe like he was seizing, and then he ended up dying in some sort of fight, from what I could tell, which is very sad. I guess that was the one link that kept maybe his older brother kept his father at bay to leave Chris alone, because I'm assuming Chris was the younger brother, and his older brother was the one that died, and maybe kept his father at bay since his father liked his older brother. So, but since that, his brother died, I think also he said he blames him for his brother's death or something like that. I forget what exactly happened, but it seems like he like blames him for that almost, and we can already tell that he just doesn't like him. Chris is more than his other son, so I'm going to assume that that his older brother meant a lot to him and like was the only one person that could really keep his father at bay from making Chris do these horrible things with killing people and shit. So that I do feel bad for Peacemaker and the fact that we could really tell that him and his brother were very, very connected and were close. So that's very hard. And also when Vigilante couldn't, like he was about to go through with it, that was a cool fight sequence, by the way. Him kicking those dudes' asses and calling them all out for their bullshit. That was cool. I'm telling you, Vigilante is like the number one character. Honestly, dude's a beast. He's sick. He's cool. And that's a true friend going in there, calling out his father's bullshit. Because of course his father would be friends with people that are dickheads like that, like how he is, like racist people, like what I mean, like that. So I'm happy, he called him out on all their bullshit. I liked that, and he kicked all their asses. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the one to kick your ass." And then, of course, the guards broke it up and put him in his cell. But right when I forget who said it. I think it was Myrn that says, to John, get Adrian out of there, or get Vigilante out of there before Peacemaker's father kills him and shit. Because I thought he was gonna kill him with the playing cards. I thought Vigilante was like, oh, I don't know, because from what we're gathering from Peacemaker's father is that he's a bad dude. And he's like a trained killer. And I thought for sure he was going to get the best over Vigilante and kill him with the playing cards. I was like, fuck. I was scared for Vigilante in there with his plan that he had. I'm like, he might die in there. He might think he can kill Peacemaker's father, but he might die. He might be in over his head. Because clearly we've gathered that, Adrian Chase, a.k.a. Vigilante, is crazy. But he's cool. He's cool, though. So I was like, oh, shit, I don't know what's going to happen. But you can really tell when he gets, bailed out by John and Myrn, Harcourt picks him up and says, let me drive you home. Because, again, at this point, he's like, he doesn't know that. He's like, oh, because she says, oh, get in. He's like, I'm Adrian or whatever. And says, oh, let me drive you home. And he's like, I think I made it worse. And that made me sad because I felt like that was a real emotional moment. But he thought what he was doing was the right decision because he felt bad for the pain that Peacemaker's been through his entire life. And that was a sad moment because I felt like that was a really we really are getting in the hearts of these characters that are so guarded. And that made me emotional because we could really see that Harcourt feel that she felt emotion in that moment. And it seems like she was even questioning when Anabayo was saying, like, oh, I've never killed anybody about, the previous episode, and, that's when Harcourt killed that person that I guess had no connection to any clue what was going on, and, like, when Anabayo to spare his life, and Harcourt shot him, and she's like, oh, you can't freeze up, you have to kill, you know what I mean, but it's good that you feel something, you know what I mean, so I felt like, in a way, she feels like she doesn't feel anything anymore, but I feel like she really felt something for Adrian at the moment, like, he only wanted to do what he thought was right to keep Peacemaker's father from hurting him. And I really felt that moment between, Harcourt and, Adrian. I really felt that moment. I was crying. I was tearing up. I was like, fuck, this show got me already. Like, James Gunn has a way of making you feel things. I mean, if Guardians have taught us anything, he can make us cry. He's made me cry on multiple occasions with the Guardians movies. Like, oh my god, like on multiple occasions, like when Rocket stops Gamora in Volume 2 from going to try to save Quill when he's like, I don't want to lose any more of my friends. That moment got me crying, and then we see, and we heard Drax yelling in the background, where's Quill? That moment got me crying. The moment with Yondu dying, that got me crying. He has a way. And also even the first one, when he's like going this in the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, when Star-Lord saving Gamora and realizes he's gonna die when he doesn't really know her that much. It's like these moments, James, bro, you got me emotional already. You got me attached to the show, and every time that intro comes on, I want to dance. You've made a great show that everybody was doubting at one point. me included, I really thought the show was going to be a stinker because I just didn't like this character in Suicide Squad, but he has made me love this show. And I am super excited for the next episode because that cliffhanger, when anybody finds out about that one, crazy chick that, that reminded me of Cheetah from Wonder Woman, 1984. But that one moment where, she finds a connection by like a card and then like a business card. It was like a business card and it was like a work, badge. And she had a connection there. She's like, oh my God, I think I found a connection, called Myrn. And then because I thought it was very weird when we saw Myrn previously, and like before that scene came up where Antibio calls Myrn to say, I got like some, got some information. I might have gotten something, and we just see him, just standing straight, no emotions, watching a comedy. It was either a show or a movie. I didn't quite get what it was, but I knew it was funny related to what was going on the TV, and he was not laughing. I was like, that's not like this character. But I mean, is it though? I was like, because I don't know. I was like, is this just him? He just doesn't laugh. That's just his character, or is something up? I didn't catch previously that the butterflies act very stiff and they're very robotic. But when she's like, oh, I might have gotten something, he's like, good, I'll be there in a minute. And then he picks up his bowl, and then he has that gross ass sucker coming out of his mouth like the butterflies do. I said, holy crap, he's a butterfly. I was like, what a cliffhanger for like to make people be like, holy shit. I cannot wait for next week's episode, because this episode got me like, I want it now. I was like, why does this have to be drop every Thursday? Why can't this just be a binging, streaming thing? I'm like, oh God, I have to wait until next Thursday. He's got us like that. And that's how you know he's great, James. Is that he's able to do shit like that and make us be like, oh my God. Like, damn. Because now I have I knew it was good, but now I'm like, this show's great. I want the next episode. I want it now. But we have to wait until next Thursday, which again, I'm okay with. Oh, but and it's sad because we only have 8 episodes, and this was episode 4. I'm so pissed because it's like, I want a season 2 of Peacemaker, and I don't know how this is going to end. And also, I feel like, and I was kind of realizing, what Harcourt was saying, like, that, Amanda Waller, doesn't feel anything, and she doesn't want to be like her mother, that her mother doesn't feel anything from what she's been hearing about her mom. So that's kind of like, I don't know how that's going to go, because we do know Amanda Waller doesn't feel shit. She's willing to sacrifice people regardless of what bad shit they've done, even though they have some good in their hearts. She just does not give a shit. And I feel like she's now understanding why no one likes her mother, and she doesn't want to become that. I think that's why she originally didn't want what her mom wanted for her by joining. Amanda Waller wanted her daughter to join her in what she does, and she just wanted to become like her mother. And this all proves why she just does not want to become her mother. So that's going to be interesting if we'll hear back from Amanda Waller at any point, because we did see a FaceTime call from her, I think, in episode, I think it was like 3, or 2. I can't quite remember, but that's interesting too. And also, him failing to kill Peacemaker's father, and he said, oh, did my son send you? I think that's what he meant by I made it worse. One, that his father's going to hate him even more and might try to kill him when he gets out. I think we have a fight between our hands where we could see his father and maybe Peacemaker, fight and maybe kill. And it might go to it's either you kill me or I kill you. I think we're getting to that point maybe. But I honestly feel bad, for Adrian, because he really thought what he was doing was the right decision on taking this asshole out, which dude needs to go. Peacemaker's father's a dickhead, and I'm hoping he realizes it at some point. And you really feel for the Peacemaker's character, Chris. You really feel for him, and I'm really liking how we're feeling for these characters, and we really want to know more on where they're at, mentally through what they're going through. Especially when they find out that Myrn is a butterfly. Fuck. That's gonna change everything. And also, Judo Master saying that, the butterflies aren't what you think, and then getting shot. What does he know? I hope he survives. I think he might, and he'd be like, the butterflies are this. Maybe Myrn is the rogue, is the rogue butterfly that are making the other butterflies look bad. I don't know what's happening, but it's going to be crazy because we know those butterflies are everywhere. It's a global alien takeover, pretty much. They're everywhere from what we saw in last week's episode on that pad. So, shit's crazy. I'm just loving this show, guys. Again, that fight sequence in the jail cell was sick as shit. And makes me love Adrian a lot more. That character's fucking badass. He's sick. Also, the fight between Judo Master and Peacemaker again, he was like, okay, rematch, motherfucker. I was like, let's go. Because Judo Master kicked the shit out of Adrian and kicked the shit out of, Peacemaker. Kicked the shit out of both of them. And it was just funny to me when he was kicking the crap out of both of them. But he's like, rematch, motherfucker. And then he was like, when he says to Adebayo, like, I had that. Why'd you do that? It was a rematch. It was going to get my pride back. I was like, that's so Peacemaker. Like, that's so him. And it's just, I love this show. It's great. Honestly, it's great. I'm happy we have it. And I hope we get a season 2. Honestly, I'm hoping. And this is only the 4th episode. I'm saying I hope we get a season 2. But, guys, that was the video. Again, if you're new to the channel, subscribe to the channel, put on those notifications, like this video. I would love to have you guys here, a part of this family here on this channel. We're all about spreading love, positivity, and motivation. And also, guys, we're on our way to hitting 500 subscribers. So, yet again, come join this family. Help me achieve my dreams to getting to 500. I would really, really appreciate it. And, guys, let me know down in the comments below, what did you guys think of episode 4 of Peacemaker? Let me know. And let me know how you guys thought about that holy shit moment with Myrn. Finding out that he's a butterfly. That went right over my head. I was like, what? I was like, what does this mean? Honestly, I'm super excited for episode 5. I cannot wait. But guys, that was a video. I hope everybody has a great day, a safe day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.